Well, hello, true gardeners. So today is all about some practical advice, some tips that I want to share with you guys. If you guys are in the process of creating your landscaping and you're picking out your plants and your trees and you're doing a few things, before you get into that part of it, there's a few things that will make your garden overall easier to maintain, just make it really, really good and cohesive and a well thought out plan. So keep a few of these tips in mind for your future planning. So let's jump right in. So the first thing we're gonna look at is in this particular garden, I love the way it turned out. It is just such a jungle-inspired garden. But when you have a bed that's going to be all the way across the front of your house, like we have here in this particular landscape, what you kind of want to avoid doing is having to maintain the garden only from the front. I mean, this is kind of stepping through this, stepping through that to get all the way to the back tier. You guys know I love my layers, but when you're kind of maintaining those layers, if you can create 2 access points, yes, I said 2, then that's the best way to go. I try to do this as often as I can. If there's budget allowed and where we have the space in the room for it, because it does 2 things. Having a pathway that runs the rear side of the landscape bed, not only does it look kind of cool, like this is going somewhere, I don't know where it's going, but it's kind of cool. It allows access to not have to go all the way around your front yard, especially when it's a big corner lot like this guy is, to get to the backyard. This kind of goes right along the side yard, all the way leading into the backyard. And then it does that as well as when it's time to trim this landscape, when it's time to layer this in. Not only do you have a beautiful walkway space that you can take your cup of coffee through here and check on all your girls and make sure everybody's happy, but this is where you're gonna trim. This is where you're gonna bring your little cart behind you to put your trimmings in. Then you do that from the opposite side, and it just makes it such an easy low maintenance. And you wonder, well, how much space do you really need, right? This is all different for every garden. I mean, in this particular case, we had enough room. We had enough room before coming up to this berm. So we have approximately 3 foot. It does narrow out where these columns pop out, but we have plenty of space to walk along this particular area of the garden. Leave yourself at a minimum 2 foot. 2 foot to me is the sweet spot for a small area. If you're a gardener, you're doing this for yourself and you're going to be doing all your trimming and all your landscaping, give yourself enough room for whatever cart that you have in your shed. Whatever cart you pull behind that you have in your shed, that's the size your pathway should be, because you can make it work. I promise you can layer in front of it where you don't even see this pathway. From the road, this is non-existent, but we made sure to make it pretty. We tucked it in behind the pygmy date palms, so it's kind of like a little secret entrance back here. As all this landscaping back here grows up, it's going to do a nice job of camouflaging the walkway, but also kind of giving you like a little bit of like, oh, what's going on over there? Where does that lead to? So you can really kind of take it. It does not have to go all the way around the house immediately. If this is the area that you're starting with, this is the bed that you're starting with, you can stop it right at the edge of this bed. You can see that's exactly what we've done here. We do have a future phase with Cindy. We're going to be working all the way around her garden, but this was the ending point for phase 1. So our edging stopped here. We will continue this path all the way meeting to the backyard in the future. But right now, this is our final point. This is our ending point. You kind of work with what your budget allows you to work with and work with your timing, but knowing that this needed to be done first, this also needed to be done at the same time. My favorite kind of stone to use for a walkway path is one that compacts really well. You guys know I love the Tahitian gray granite. That is my #1 favorite. Compacts really, really well. You can walk on it. You can roll your equipment on it. You can do all of that on that particular product. This rock happened to be rock that we picked up from another section of Cindy's yard. This is a pea gravel rock. It is a small round rock, but it is also a good rock for walking. This has some jagged pieces, so we made do with what's here because, budgets are real, y'all, so this was rock that was available to us and she had no place for it. And I was like, I know just the spot for it. But when you have stone, y'all know how I feel about stone without edging. I see it all the time. And to me, I feel like that's a lost opportunity because all of that work that you just put into putting that stone pathway down, all that hauling, all that compacting, all of that, everything that had to be done to bring in hard rock into one spot and then not edge it, makes that rock disappear. It makes the job not last nearly as long. So find your favorite edging border and use that. Now, when it's stone against mulch, what you saw there is perfect. I love using the aluminum alloy edging. You can use that for all landscape beds. We have it here in the front. to give you kind of a nice division, a kind of a nice line.
Hey you guys, Bryce here. I just wanted to pop this in real quick and ask if you could like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps show your support and keep these videos going. Also, if you're enjoying the video, please drop a true gardener in the comments. And if you're looking for any help with designing your space, or you have some questions, or you want a master plan created, or you even want a design and installation done, head over to our website. We have 3 short videos that break down our 3 services so you can see which option works best for you. In those videos, we'll go over pricing and locations for the state of Florida. And if you're looking for any products mentioned in this video, we have a link that takes you directly to our Amazon storefront where you should be able to find everything. And also, if you're looking to build your own plant palette, we also have a link that takes you to our book that helps walk you through designing your own space. Thanks so much for your support, and let's get back to the video.
Tip number 2 is edging, landscape edging on rock, on separating mulch from grass, especially in this particular area. I really do love this berm that we got to work with. However, when you have a berm, when you have height in our Florida rains, what that leads to is mulch somewhere in the grass or our beds falling forward. So having a nice defined edging line is ideal. In this particular case, we use the aluminum alloy edging. And then if you guys like the look of a softer edge, a softer look than Buda edging, y'all know that that's my favorite edging of all. I love the color options they have to work with. It's a product that I really incorporate as often as I can into my gardens because I feel like it has a nice aesthetic look, especially when I'm dealing with grass, because I know that mowers and whatnot can get on that edging. But regardless of what edging you use, go ahead and make sure you do find a dividing line. That is not only going to hold the mulch in place from being in the grass, it keeps your bed defined. And I think that's one of the most important parts of this, because what I find as a landscaping matures, as the years go by, your landscaper, as good as those guys are, they edge this one day and then the edge starts encroaching out into the yard, and all of a sudden your plants stop way back here, but your bed ends up way up here, and you're like thinking, when did that start happening? Giving yourself an exact bed line edge, that's like saying, okay, that's the Spanx for your landscape bed. That's going to keep everything where it belongs. That's the goal of landscape edging. So in my experience, that is why it's so important. It's tip number 2, because I think that that's always something to keep in consideration right off the cuff, right when you're doing your planting. Incorporate, measure for your landscape edging, and measure for your rock borders. This is a great example for this particular situation, but I've run across this question so very often. And it's a real thing, because when you have pavers and you have a landscape bed, like one I'm just getting ready to show you, it's kind of hard to figure out how to properly edge that, because many a times in this particular situation, you have a concrete footer that is going to stop you from being able to edge along from where your driveway starts to meet your landscape bed. That is so common. I hear that all the time, and clients are like, I hate that the mulch always ends up on my driveway. How do I make that work? Well, many of you guys have seen I have used stone to counter that. So in this particular situation, this bed, this agave bed right here, sits up fairly high. I hope that comes across on camera. It really has a good berm to it, and I love that look. However, when I got here, the rock that was here was that small rock that we just saw just a moment ago, and it was constantly falling into this area. So what I wanted to do was, between the mulch and the rock that was moving here, I wanted to bring in a larger stone. This gives it more of a natural edge. If this is in y'all's budget to do, pick up these river jacks. You can get them by the bag, you can get them at a lot of the rock yards carry them, but it's a flat river jack. It's a soft, just kind of nice big round creek rock. Lay those guys in nice and tight as you can. You can create curvature with it, creating movement in the garden. There's so much that you can do with it, but I love it in this particular situation. When you have such a concrete footer here, you can't put edging directly here. It's really difficult because the edging gets all wonky, and that's kind of what the situation was here. They had a rubber edging that was kind of up and down, but didn't sit really well. So this will give you an edging of sorts and give you a really good look at the same time. So I think this came together really, really well. And then we did some raised boulders to give some elevation change, so it helped kind of blend this look all together. Which brings me into tip number 3. Tip number 3 is leave a little bit of room for boulders. I know we're in Florida. You can do Tennessee boulders, you can do Florida coquina boulders, you can do any boulders, but If you have a tropical landscape, there is something so magical about having this big giant leaf palette or pattern, or these big interesting agaves, things like that, and then kind of need a little break. You need something for your eye to rest. You need a little bit of a focal point that it's a change in element, and that's what that does in a garden. If you have room and you have the budget in your landscape design and you're laying things out, find where that corner comes down and maybe hit a nice round boulder. It could be even one of those fake hollow boulders, just something that changes the element from a leaf to another material in the garden. I'm going to show you an example of that over here. So we are now in the front yard landscaping, and you can really see that there's a lot going on up here, right? This is the tropical heaven right here. I'm absolutely in love with this island. It's got such color, it's got such contrast, it's got such leaf texture change. And what it needed was one more thing, one more element, and that was bringing the element of boulders in, having a completely different look, and just kind of key little sections of the garden. We didn't need 20 of them in here. We've got 2 of them in here, and I think they did such a nice job of adding just a pop of interest as your eye makes your way over here, over the plants, and then boom, it stops into a whole nother element there. Then it goes back into some softer material, and then boom, as we get over here, it kind of ends in that space right there too. So if you have a garden, maybe you've got a dead area in the garden, and that's kind of how I usually attack where I put my boulders. Maybe I've got cool accents here and here and here, and maybe I can't put a plant there. Maybe there's a stump there, or for whatever reason you can't put a plant there. Think about incorporating a boulder. You can do coquina boulders like these. These are about 3 foot across. I really, really love the look of them. A lot of times the boulders that you find that you can lift are more flat. They can be long, but they can be flat. Trust me, those are fine. You do not have to have the big, giant, beefy, kind of, massive boulders. You can take a flat boulder, flip it up on its side, pack it back with dirt, make it look from the street like it's this big mounded boulder, and then put something vertical behind it so no one's the wiser. This one happens to be a good sized boulder, but many a times, and that one right there is more flat than it is wide. So that's exactly what you do. You just kind of pack some soil in behind it, give it an appearance of it being a bigger boulder than what it really is, and just pop it in, pack it in. I have even done that with large flagstone pieces, because what you're trying to do is represent that break from the street, from when people are walking up the pathway or the walkway here, so they can see just that change, that interest in it. It really just does something to a garden. So that is one of those things that I'd love you guys to consider when you're incorporating your plants and trees. It's not all about the greenery or the right colors or the accents. Sometimes it's about some of those good fundamental things that's just going to make life a little easier for you when it's done. All right, you guys, so I hope those tidbits are going to help you in your process and your planting journey. If you want more tip on creating landscapes and little things that you can do, then I did a tip video earlier this year, and I think you guys might really enjoy that one too. It goes a little bit more in depth on a few other tip options. All right, y'all, take care. I will see you next weekend.